Hey guys, welcome back. It's Krystal. So today I have a different type of video for you guys. This is going to be a Maybelline Hits and Misses try-on video. So I've never really done a try-on video before. I've reviewed products and I've inserted demos of me applying the products, but this time I thought that I'm going to go over all of the products that I have purchased that are new from Maybelline, and I wanted to apply them and talk about them and give you my thoughts about them. So all of these items I have used already several times, so I already know my thoughts about them. But as I try them on for you guys, you can see them in action, but also know my thoughts. So first up, I already filled in my eyebrows with my NYX Micro Brow Pencil, but I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer. And I think, this one doesn't say the name on it anywhere. Oh yes it does, it's super tiny. I missed that. This is the one in soft brown. So let me just give you, don't mind my nails. I have like horrible nails right now, and my hands are drier than dry. My cuticles are disgusting. So anyways, this is what it looks like. It's very bizarre looking. It's like a flat paddle and it has little spiky hairs, and you can see the fibers on it. So what I like to do is just kind of get any excess off of the tip there. And then, like I said, I have my eyebrows already filled in. So what I like to do is I just take this with the side with the little spikes. I brush the brow hairs upward. And I feel like this takes a little bit of getting used to. At first, I did not think I was going to like this, but I've actually grown to love the applicator. It is just very weird at first, but I think it just takes a little bit of getting used to. And as you can see, it just gave my hairs a little bit more of a tint, and it does have fibers in it, so I feel like it makes them a little bit fuller. And yeah, I've been really enjoying this a lot, actually. Like I said though, at first I didn't think I was going to like it. It kind of took a little while to get used to, but I actually like it. Sometimes I actually just put this on my brows without filling them in, and this gives them enough color to where I can do that. Now my eyebrows are still a little bit sparse, so I prefer to fill them in a little bit and then go in with the brow mascara, but I feel like I can get away with just using this sometimes. And I have let my eyebrows grow in a little bit. I'm trying to grow them in. Every time I grow them in, I don't like the way they look on me when they're thicker, so I end up just shaving. I like to shave like all the excess small hairs up here, and I let all of those grow in. So they are like fuller, but I don't know why. I just don't like them fuller on me for some reason. But that's what the brow mascara looks like. I actually really like this. Let me just give you a little swatch of the color. It almost looks like it has like a little bit of a gold sheen to it, which I kind of feel like gives the eyebrows a little bit of dimension. So that's what it looks like. All right, so the next item is the Maybelline Brow Precise Perfecting Highlighter. This is a little like highlighting pen. It says the new Brow Precise Perfecting Highlighter shapes and accentuates brows for a polished total brow look. The creamy formula helps cover stray hairs and other imperfections, while the angled tip applicator allows for precise, easy application. Brows are perfected and highlighted in a few strokes. So I have the shade in Light, and this is what it looks like. So it is retractable, and that is what the product looks like. Like I've used it probably like 5 or more times, and it's intended to go like this to kind of sculpt around your eyebrows like that, which is a very like genius idea, because a lot of us like to clean up our eyebrows with concealer, but for me, I wish this was a little bit smaller perhaps. It still works, and the formula is pretty creamy, but I think I prefer doing it with my concealer over this, honestly. I'm gonna take this Wet n Wild like concealer brush, and I'm just going to use that to clean up. So it blends out nicely. The formula is very creamy. but I still have to use the brush a little bit to be a little more precise with the cleanup, I guess. But I mean, this makes it easy than like pulling out your concealer and squeezing some out. So that's what it looks like. I feel like it's a little bit thicker just because it is like a pencil form. They just tend to have a thicker formula, and it is creamy, but I feel like it looks a little bit thicker, especially on the skin. So I'm just gonna go over it with my little Equal Tools Duo sponge. Well, it came in a duo, but. So you can see that it looks more cleaned up than this eyebrow over here. So I think it's okay. It's not a horrible product, but I do wish it was smaller, and I think I just prefer using concealer over this just because my concealer is a little bit thinner in consistency, and I don't know, I just prefer the concealer. If you guys have tried this, let us know what you think below. But I think if you're like in a hurry or you wanted to throw this in your purse because you had to get ready in the car or something, like, then it would be nice. But for day-to-day use, I just feel like I think I prefer my concealer over this. See, it looks a little bit cakey. Do you see what I'm saying? It just applies a lot of product, especially because it's kind of a fat, thick tip angle. And I still got to get in here with the brush to really clean it up. I feel like this eyebrow looks better than the other one. That always happens. See, I just need to like help blend it out and diffuse the product. Kind of pick up some of the product with my beauty sponge here. And this one is by Equal Tools, and I like how it has that kind of cut right there because it really works well around the eyebrows. Just because it has that slender cut. All right, so that's my brows situation. So next I want to talk about the Maybelline Master Strobing Liquid, the Illuminating Highlighter in number 100 Light. So I got the lightest one. This one is very glowy and very metallic actually. That's what it looks like right there, blended out. It's kind of a thick blended out swatch. I actually prefer to put this on with like a damp beauty blender, but mine is not damp and I don't want to go to the bathroom, to be quite honest. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. It's gonna be better if I do it, so I'll be right back. All right, so I wet my Eco Tools sponge. As you can see, it got a lot bigger. So I'm just gonna squeeze some on the back of my hand, and then I'm just going to pounce it into the product onto the sponge here. And I do have my foundation on already. I don't have concealer on yet, but it's very glowy and it applies nicely. Oh my gosh, it's very reflective with the lights. Oh my gosh, it looks more glowy, I feel like, on the camera than it does in person. But it looks nice, like it sits on the skin really pretty. I just think it goes on best though with a damp sponge, because if you try to apply this dry, I feel like it's a little harder to blend just because it does have like a thicker consistency. So I just feel like it blends out the best and sits on the skin best when you do it with a damp sponge versus like your fingers or a brush. And then what you can do is, if it's too intense, which that looks super intense, just get like the other side of the sponge and kind of just go over it a little bit to diffuse it. Okay, and I'm just gonna put a little bit, I'm gonna try this with my finger. Just put a little bit on my nose. I feel like you have to work kind of quickly. So my card was full on my camera, so I don't know where it cut off, but as you can see, it's super glowy, just beautiful. I really, really like it. I may pick up the medium shade because the medium is more of a golden shade, and then I could probably mix it with this one, but I actually do like this product. It's funny because once it dries on the hand, like it does not move. It's not sticky. It's just like completely dries I did get a little sheen on my fingers, but for the most part it doesn't budge. So it's just really pretty and glowy. So the next Maybelline product is the Master Blush Color and Highlight Kit. This is what it looks like. I love this thing. When I first got it, I did not like the highlighter for some reason. I didn't like the way it went onto the skin, but once I got through that first layer, I love the highlighter now. And I really love these two blushes here. You get like a peachy, like warm blush, you get a cool toned pink and like a plummy blush. And I think the palette overall is just really, really pretty. And you get a nice variety of shades. This one here is a little bit too deep for me. I have to mix it with one of the other shades. So if I use that deep shade on its own, I feel like it's a little bit hard to blend out on my skin just because I'm so light and this is so dark. But overall, I really, really like this palette. I think it's nice. It blends nicely and the colors are really pretty. So let's go ahead and put some of that on my face. I think I'm gonna wear the warm shade for you guys today, or try that one on today. Sometimes I mix the middle two shades together. I mix and match all the shades actually. This is a Morphe brush. It's one of my favorite blush brushes. I don't know the number, it's kind of worn off. I think it's M500 or something like that. So it has nice pigmentation to it. It blends out well. It may look like the majority of the blush is here, which I kind of feel like it's not as intense where the liquid highlighter was. Just keep that in mind. But I have used this blush palette several times and it applies beautifully. So I'm going to take the highlighter now and I'm going to use a fan brush from Eco Tools, one of their newer brushes, although they did have one like this before. So I'm just going to apply this right over the liquid highlighter. It's going to be super intense because of that, but this highlight is intense without going over the liquid, but over the liquids it's even more intense. And as you can see, I've used the highlighter a ton. And I normally don't like to wear my highlighter this intense, but I'm going to diffuse it with my beauty sponge. But I just wanted to show you guys, like, it's gorgeous. Especially the combination of the two. Okay, so that is glowy. Alright, so here are the swatches of the blush palette. As you can see, they're beautiful colors. They're nice and pigmented. Look at that highlight though. That's not even the liquid one, that is the powder one. It's very intense, it's beautiful, but it does have a pink undertone, so if you're not into like a pink highlight, you probably won't like that. And if you don't like any of the shades in the blush palette, then I would totally skip it. I have lipsticks and I have a bunch of eyeshadows, and I wanted to try all the eyeshadows on for you guys. So I hope my eyes don't fall off, but let's just have a go at it. And some of these are not new shades, but I think they may have changed the formula on them. Some of them feel softer, so I'm not really 100% sure on that, but let's just go ahead and try all of them on. So the first eyeshadow here is called Earthly Taupe. That's what it looks like. Just using a Sephora Pro Crease Brush. Okay. So this was a previous color that they used to have. This is a very light shade, so if you have a darker skin tone, it may not show up on you. But you can see it gives a little bit of dimension onto the eye. So that is Earthly Taupe. It's okay. The texture of it is somewhat soft. It's packed a little bit harder than, you know, some other eyeshadows. Like, I do have to kind of dig my finger in it a little bit. Let me give you a little swatch of it, which is not going to show up too well on my complexion. There's a swatch right there. So that is Earthly Taupe. Alright, so this next one is called Nude Glow. This one is really pretty. I really like this color. It would wear beautifully as a highlighter. I would say it's a little bit more on the darker, deeper side than the highlight in the blush palette, but it could be worn as a highlight. It's really, really pretty. Very reflective. Texture of it's a little bit softer than the matte one. So I'm just going to apply this onto my eye. So that is what it looks like. It's not as reflective dry as it is wet, so I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit more wet. Just wet my brush a little bit. Got a little more product. And as you can see, it's just more reflective wet. It looks super gorgeous. Really pretty color. I like this one a lot. Alright, so this next one is called Pink Wink. This one is gorgeous, but I feel like it's not quite as soft as the previous one. Maybe when like I swatch it with my finger, I feel like it's, yeah, it's just not as smooth as the other one. But when you see it on the hand, it's gorgeous. It's like a pink with a gold sheen to it. It's gorgeous on the hand. So let's go ahead and apply this to my eyeballs. Just keep in mind too, my eyes are a little on the dry side. So I feel like sometimes that causes these shadows to not look as reflective when they're especially metallic or shimmery. So that's what it looks like dry. I'm gonna go ahead and wet my brush and then go back into the shadow. All right, that's what it looks like wet. So really, really pretty. That one on the hand though, it looks much more intense and beautiful on the hand, don't you guys think, than compared to my eyeball? But it is a pretty color. All right, so this next one is called the Glow Down. And this one is softer in texture. It's very glowy. It's gorgeous. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I know some people use this one as a highlighter. It's a little bit dark as a highlighter on my skin, but if you have a darker complexion than me, then it probably will work well as a highlight. I would say this one, out of the previous like shimmery ones, the last two, this one goes on the best dry. It is a lot smoother in texture, I feel. I feel like it just looks a little bit more reflective, but that's what it looks like dry. I'm gonna go ahead and apply it wet over the top. I mean, look at that. Oh, it's gorgeous. I love that one. If I like a gold eyeshadow, this is the kind of gold that I like. Like a more lighter gold, not too yellow, not too dark. So that's what the Glow Down looks like. Alright, so this one is called Gold School. This one, I don't like the texture of it. It's very chunky and flaky. I just don't like the formula on this one at all. They used to have another gold one before they came out with the newer shades and reformulated. I think they reformulated them because I feel like the old one was so much better in texture than this new one. And that's what it looks like. It looks beautiful on camera and on the hand, but I really have to push it into the skin. So if you guys can see, it just looks chunkier in texture. I just don't like this one. This one I'm applying with a flat brush, whereas the other ones I had applied with like a fluffier brush. I feel like the fluffier ones actually apply shimmery shades better than sometimes the flat one does. But mine are all dirty. And as you can see going on, look how flaky this is. Just like dry and flaky. I don't like this one at all. I'm going to go ahead and wet my brush so that I can apply it wet. Of course it's going to go on better wet. So if you do get this one, I would say you need to foil it. But overall, I don't like this one at all. I think it's horrible. And it even looks crepey on my lid wet. Do you see that? It does not look cute. So, Gold School, I would skip. I don't think it's good. So this is Champagne Fizz here. Alright, so this is Champagne Fizz. It's very reflective and glowy. I would say it's not quite as smooth as like the Glow Down is, but it's still way better in texture than the previous one, the Gold Color Glow, what was it called? Gold School. I didn't like Gold School. This one has a better texture than that one. And so again, I'm applying this with a flat brush this time. And this is just like a white shadow. It actually looks a little off-white in the pan, but I feel like going on the eyes, it looks pretty white. So the pigmentation on that one's nice, very brightening. This would make a good highlighter for people with like fair skin and like an inner corner highlight. And I'm going in with it wet now, you guys. So again, much more intense when it's wet. So this one's a good one. Alright, this one's NY Silver, New York Silver. This one is really good. I mean, it is super intense. Look at this, one swipe. The other one, the Gold School one, should have been like this, but it was not. It was a complete fail, but I mean, that is intense. I feel like everybody can do silver as well. Silvers, I feel like, are an easy shadow to do for some reason. There's a lot of companies that have silvers that are really intense. So let's go ahead and apply this onto the eyeballs. Yeah, see how intense this is? This is dry. And I am using a new brush every single time I apply one, just because I am applying them wet and I don't want to go in with a wet brush initially when I show you guys. So super, super intense and pigmented. I'm going to wet my brush now and do a little layer on top that's wet. And holy shenanigans. Oh my god. Do you see that? This is crazy. Wow. That's a perfect name. New York Silver. Reminds me of New Year's Eve. I wonder if it's NY for New York or NY for New Year's Silver. Probably New York. Okay, so this one is Tastefully Taupe. This one, pigmentation's really not that great. I feel like I really have to dig into the product and build it up. So that's what it looks like right there. Let me just show you. So I got some on my finger, and that's kind of what it looks like initially. Not the most pigmented. It's like a taupey brown and it has like a silver sheen to it. I haven't worn this. I haven't worn them all actually. So, I mean, it doesn't look bad going on the eye, honestly. I remember it being a little more sheer than that, though. So let's go ahead and apply it wet. But this one, I would say, has more of a satin-ish finish. So when you go in with it wet, you can definitely see that silver sheen. I did not use the same brush as I used with this eye, just so you know. It was a clean brush, didn't have any shadow on it. So it is a pretty taupey shade. I want to do like a kind of smoky eye. So that one's okay. Not my favorite, but it's not horrible. It is workable. Alright, so this is Fierce Fuchsia. This is a matte. And this one is really soft in pigmentation. I mean, this one is really soft to the touch. Very soft, very pretty color. Has great pigmentation to it. So let's go ahead and put this on the eye. Yeah, see, I've used this in my crease, not all over the lid, but I have used it in my crease. So they have a lot more shades. They have some other vivid ones, like some blues and some greens. They have some purples, but I didn't want to get them all. So that's what it looks like. Please forgive my messy swatches. So I feel like the more I blend, it kind of lifts the product off of my eye a little bit, which is sometimes the case I feel with like reddish or pink eyeshadows. And just some mattes in general, when they're matte, they just tend to do that. Like they don't stick as well. So you can definitely see where it's getting patchy there just because I blended too much. So for me, I felt like it worked better into the crease versus on the lid where there's more product. So, yeah, I just feel like this is a shadow that's better in the crease just because you can really blend much more and it doesn't like lift as much, and it just kind of diffuses the shade so it's not as intense of a pink. But just forgive my eye swatch, it's terrible. Okay. Alright, so this last one I have is Turquoise Sea. That's what it looks like right there. It's a really pretty color. I feel like it has little mini sparkles in it, and I feel like they're not big chunky glitters or anything like that. So I feel like when I touch it, it's not the smoothest eyeshadow, but it's not the roughest either. But when I swatch it on the hand, it feels a lot softer like this versus when I stick my finger in here. I mean, it's not really rough, but it's not smoother than some of the others. But it is a really gorgeous shade. So let's go ahead and put this on the eyeballs. Wet, just so you guys know, because it is a matte color. So this one's going on pretty well. I feel like this one you have to be careful because it's a darker shade, so you don't want to be too messy with it. I mean, I'm being messy because I'm so over putting all these shadows on, but that's what it looks like. Really pretty. Let's go in with it wet. I feel like when you go in with it wet, you can see more of the blue, whereas before it looked a little bit more on the turquoise green side, and now it looks more bluish. Do you guys see that? So my least favorite was Gold School. The formula on that one was terrible, but as far as the other ones, I feel like the formula has improved. It feels better than a lot of other Maybelline, like 4-pan, 5-pan shadow palettes that they had in the past. I thought those were always terrible. The formula was always just so hardly pressed into the pan. You didn't get a lot of color payoff. But as you can see, these had pretty good pigmentation, some better than others, and some of the formulas were nice and soft. So overall, I think, you know, if you're on a budget, if you're just starting out with makeup, these are a good way to go because they were only like $2.99 at, I got some of them at the grocery store and then the rest of them I think at Walmart. So yeah. So overall, I think they're okay, but for the price, definitely worth checking out. All right, before I move on to lips, I just want to go over the Maybelline, the Falsies Push-Up Angel Mascara. It says, new push-up wing brush sweeps lashes to the side while lifting and plumping from the roots. Styling formula holds the lifted wing look in place. Ophthalmologist tested. I got the shade in Blackest Black. So this is what the mascara packaging looks like. You guys know I love purple. It's my favorite color. And the wand looks, you know, strange, but it actually works really well. I really like this mascara. So let's go ahead and zoom in. So it really gets up in the lashes and combs them up really nice, gives them nice length, actually gives them volume, which was surprising. I feel like they are lifted and they have volume and they have length. I really, really like the way that it makes my lashes look. So let's do the bottom lashes. I feel like I need a mirror for this. I feel like it really just works so good, especially for the lower lashes, because it covers a lot of them at once. Like I can do this whole section here in one swoop versus kind of going this way and this way, you know what I mean? So my eyelashes from eye to eye is different, just so you guys know. These over here are not as curly, although they look pretty curly today. It's always been like that. It's always been that way my whole life. These lashes just curled up way more. But I feel like this mascara really does lift the lashes. It's crazy. Because it does get up right in the roots. Help lift them up. Like normally this side is not as curly as the other one by any means. When I was pregnant, it was really weird. These lashes on this eye, like almost wanted to do a backflip. They were so curly. And this side was not at all. Like, what is going on? It's crazy how pregnancy can change everything. So that is what my lashes look like. Could totally go in with another coat. Let's try it. Not too much though. Just on the top. Just, well, let's go ahead and do the bottom too, I guess. I love it. What do you guys think? Have you tried it? Do you like it? What do you think? I love how it does lift the lashes. I do not have like straight lashes, just so you guys know. I do have more like curled lashes as it is, but I feel like it lifts them even more. And it does hold throughout the day. It doesn't flake on me. I just really, really like this mascara. All right guys, so let's go ahead and try on the new Maybelline lipsticks from the new Nude collection. I have 5 of them. This one's number 535, Purely Nude. That's what it looks like. They're very soft, very creamy. Same as the other matte formula. I really, really love the Maybelline lipsticks. So that is Purely Nude. Not sure why I bought this color, because it is too light. And because it is so light, it just doesn't look good. But because it's so light, it emphasizes lines in my lips. So this color I do not like. I don't know why I bought it. It's way too light. But I can pair it with a darker one, like put it in the center of a darker one, and it looks good. But on its own, I don't like it. So this is Beige Babe right here. So Beige Babe is doable. I do like this color. It does emphasize the lines in the lips a little bit, but it is very creamy and smooth. So Beige Babe, I do like it. All right, so the next one is 570 Toasted Truffle. So Toasted Truffle, I absolutely love. I love this shade. Formula is really nice. It doesn't really accentuate the lines to my lips. A lot of nude colors that are matte do though, so just keep that in mind. This one is gorgeous. I love it. All right, the next one's 575 Brown Blush. I think this is my favorite of the bunch. And it's right over there. What is it called? Brown Blush. And lastly, I have 560 Raw Chocolate. Raw chocolate. All right, so Raw Chocolate, it's a warmer brown. I think it's okay. It's not my favorite, but I don't hate it. And then I just want to show you that I can put 535 what is it, Purely Nude in the middle. I just kind of lighten up the color, or I just put it on over. Kind of make my own shade, but it looks pretty like paired over another shade. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this review and try on video. Let me know if you like these types of videos and I will continue to do them. That way I can just review several different products at once and also try them on for you guys so you can see what they look like, you know what I mean? So thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you. I love you. Have a great day.